I grew up in your average traditional American home with a mom and a dad, a younger sister and a younger brother. We went to church every Sunday, very active in our church. Went to school. I was a straight A student. We took family vacations. We looked like every other family. Unfortunately, at home, behind closed doors, our home was anything but. My name's Tammy, and this is my story. My home was filled with physical violence, beating and choking and hitting, a lot of emotional abuse, belittled and made to feel worthless. We were never good enough. It didn't matter what we did. And I was sexually abused by my natural father. I hid it from everybody because the people who we associated with were normal families. I didn't want our family to be scrutinized, and I didn't want anybody to find out. But I felt worthless, and I was used as an object, and I felt very disposable. I was very alone and very scared to talk to even my mom, because I didn't want to alienate or make angry the only parent who loved me. I was also afraid I'd be taken from my home and my dad would start abusing my sister. That terrified me. I didn't like what happened to me, but I couldn't imagine it happening to my sister. I was really angry. I was angry at my dad. I was angry at my mom. I was angry at my family outside the home, that nobody saw what a monster my dad was. I was even angry at God. Going to church, we had been told and taught that God loves us. And I thought God didn't love me, that I had done something, that I had not been good enough, that I wasn't smart enough, that I didn't pray right. And so I became very angry at God because I had thought he left me. One day I realized that the only way I was going to escape was if I killed myself. And I had had a couple of friends in high school who committed suicide, and I thought their pain had ended and they were free. That's what I decided to do. And I went to bed thinking a lot about it, thinking how I would do it, and I didn't want my mom or my sister to find me, or my little brother. I was laying in bed and I started praying for a sign if this was the answer. Joshua 1 verse 9 popped into my head, and it said, God would never leave me. He would not forsake me. And it just kept playing over and over in my head. And so the next morning, I got up and I went to school. And I told somebody, and she didn't know what to do. abuse wasn't talked about back in the 70s and 80s like it is today. So she gave me a number to call. And I went home and I called that number. And people came. Things got worse for a while. We had no home. We had no clothing. We had no food. We had no money. But God put people in our path. Friends from church. Friends of friends from church. Who eventually gave us some place to live. And a man who found us getting some things to eat out of a dumpster at the grocery store offered me a job. And God did take care of me. I realized then that I had never been alone, that God was right there beside me. It was me that, through my anger, I had shut God out. And with God's grace, I've been able to forgive my dad. I've never gotten an apology. But I forgive him. It was a peace for me. If anybody can learn anything through this, it's that you may be angry at God. You won't be the first person, you won't be the last. But he will never leave you, ever. And that's my story.